Alright, this video is going to show what the 8 different tips fit that work on Exfo's wireless video probe. So we got the 8 different tips laid out. We're going to go through them one at a time. The first one we have here is the APC for LC 1.25 millimeter. Now, this tip has a slight bend in it, so it will match up to the 8-degree face of this connector. Now what's important here is there's a little notch you might be able to see right here on this tip, and this tip needs to line that notch up with the latch on the connector. If that tip isn't lined up, you're not going to get a good zoom in on the connector in face. So that's what's important about this tip. This is the 1.25 millimeter tip for the UPC. So this is LC UPC. There is no notch on this one, so it doesn't really matter how you have it rotated. This is the tip for the SC APC. It also has a notch. You can see it right here. That notch needs to line up with the alignment tab on the connector. If you don't have that lined up, you won't be able to zoom in on the connector in face. This is the 2.5 millimeter tip for the SC connector, the UPC. This one, it doesn't matter. It just slides on and it can rotate in any direction. This tip fits the SFPs. It's an LC 1.25 millimeter, and it goes in either bore, transmit or the receive bore. This tip is for the UPC bulkheads, such as this piece of equipment. It can go in either way. It can plug in like that, or it'll rotate around and it'll plug in. Either way works on the UPC connector. This tip is for the SC APC. It's got a notch on it right here, so it'll only go in one way. So this tip is for the green SC APC, and it goes in at an angle so it matches up to the connector that's on the inside. The last tip, number 8, is for the green bulkheads. This is the LC APC, and it's got a tab on it, so it'll only go in one direction. So it fits in like that. So that covers the 8 different tips that come with Exfo's very fine wireless video probe and how they line up on the different connectors.